Talking about the decade without a name. This is a review for CNN's The 2000s, the I Decade. So this was the big technology episode of the documentary series about the early 2000s. And I find it kind of ironic that I had chosen to do reviews for this documentary series because I thought the 2000s was the decade that defined me the best. Yet here again, I'm kind of disconnected to important events of that decade. You know, something that was important in that decade. I didn't give a shit about it. You know, all this technology that came out in that decade. I mean, where do I start? Well, cell phones. In the 2000s, early 2000s, I didn't have one. I didn't see the point. It's sort of like everyone who had one, my army buddies, they would just whine and bitch about their minutes. It's like, I only have so many left. I can't take a call now. Or their bill. They'd always be on the phone with the cell phone company, chewing them out, saying, I don't know what this service is for. You know, that just turned me off the cell phone. So I have one now. I bought one in this decade when I was in the reserves. You know, someone said to me, hey, you're an NCO, you ought to get a cell phone. That way you can contact your soldiers and your soldiers can contact you. So I got me a cell phone. I have one still today. But in that decade, no, I didn't have a cell phone. The iPod. I remember how everyone was so damn excited about that thing. And they were acting like it was the greatest invention since sliced bread. But, I mean, it's a fucking Walkman. All right? It was an advancement in technology, but it wasn't the start of anything revolutionary. You already had it. You know, it's a device that was portable and you could listen to music on with your headphones. Like a fucking Walkman. But you could buy music to put on it. Right. And when you had a Walkman, you could buy cassettes to put in the Walkman to play music. Fucking iPod. It's just a fucking Walkman, all right? More advanced, sure. But in the end, just a fucking Walkman. Of course, this episode kept going on and on about Steve Jobs. I don't understand what the love affair there is. I mean, he was a great businessman, and the episode brings that up. They say he didn't invent any of this technology, but, you know, he was such a great businessman. It's like, oh, why don't you show us who invented the goddamn shit? I would like to hear about those people, like how they came up with it. But they just kept going on and on about Steve Jobs. Let's see what else. Rise of YouTube. I guess that's something that should strike a chord with us. You know, they showed all the early great hits, like, you know, Dramatic Hamster and the Num Num Guy and Chocolate Rain. And they had this one scene which I just thought was awesome, was where they had this writer, he's talking about it. And he's like, and then people were sharing this video of this little baby biting his big brother's fingers. You know, Charlie bit me. And of course they show a clip where little Charlie's with his brother, and he just chomps down on his brother's finger, and the kid's like, oh, Charlie, you bit me. That really hurt. And the little baby's like, little psycho. And then they cut back to the writer, and he's got this like despised look on his face, and he's like, and that video got $10 million. I thought that was funny. So that's really all the stuff that was in the episode that, you know, I thought was worth talking about. But in the end, like I said, I was just kind of disconnected because I wasn't a big tech guy in the 2000s. But it was a pretty good episode, and that's all I got for now.